This is Venice from RockHop, and in this video, we are talking about Copilot. There is so much buzz right now about Microsoft's new Copilot releases, and we wanted to share a quick video to break down what is going on with Copilot, what is the difference between these different Copilots because Microsoft has named everything Copilot, and what do you need to know about Copilot? How can you prepare? How can you start using Copilot? All of these things are going to be talked about in this video. So stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. Okay, first off, we need to break down what's going on with Copilot and what the differences are. So Microsoft has named anything that utilizes generative AI in their products as Copilot. So there are different Copilots. So there is a Copilot in Power Apps, in Power BI. There is going to be Copilot 365, which will be in all of the different 365 products. So Copilot Outlook, though I haven't heard anyone call it that, and so forth. There is Copilot Edge, which I'm going to show you, and then there is Copilot Studio, which I'm going to break down. So in this video, we're going to start in Copilot Edge, which is a really great actionable way to get started utilizing Copilot today. Then I'll show you Copilot Studio, how you can build your own Copilots right now. And then we'll talk about Copilot 365 and what's to come. So let's get started. Okay, our first example is utilizing Copilot in Edge or Bing Chat. So you may have heard of this example already, right? And at first I was thinking, well, what's the difference between using Bing Chat versus ChatGPT, right? It's kind of the same thing. So why use Copilot in Edge? Well, the advantage of using Copilot in Edge is you're able to feed the Copilot data, and then Copilot can answer about what's in the context of the Edge browser, right? So that takes it up a notch from just using generative AI and the internet, but instead I'm able to ask specific questions about documents, videos that I'm working on to help accelerate my work. So let's see an example. Within the context of Edge, I'm able to open up Copilot right here in the context, and Copilot knows that I'm looking at this page, of course, right? So then I have a Copilot now for navigating the internet and helping accelerate my reading, my understanding that I'm getting from the internet. So instead of watching this whole video to get the ingredients that I need for making cookies later, it's about to be Christmas, I'm able to ask Copilot, like summarize the ingredients for me. And Copilot is able to do that based on being in the context of this web page. This is really powerful, right? You do have to go and get the video, get the PDF, like feed that to Copilot, but once you're there, you do have generative AI that knows the context of the page and can empower you from there. This is a great example of a way to get started right away using Copilot. I think part of it is getting in the habit of utilizing AI to accelerate your work, right? And this is becoming more and more important. So by starting to incorporate this type of thing into any type of research, anything you're doing, really, think about how you can utilize Copilot and Edge today, and you're going to be better off. Next up is Copilot Studio. This is an evolution of what was previously Power Virtual Agents, so another Copilot, and this is how you can build your own Copilot. But essentially what that means is you can build your own chatbot that has generative AI within it and uses generative AI to accelerate how you build it. So let's break that down. But first, I'm going to show you where to find it. So within Power Apps, it's still under chatbot. So if you click on chatbots and you want a new chatbot, this is going to direct you to Copilot Studio. So we're going to build our own in this example here. We're going to call it recipe generator, recipe creator. And we're going to start from a website. This is part of how they are using generative AI to accelerate how you can create these copilots. So we are supplying the New York Times cooking website as a data source that this copilot is going to look at, and it's going to utilize that as it creates answers using generative AI to respond as well. So this is a huge evolution of what Power Virtual Agents was before, right? You don't have to create every single conversational flow here. You still have the power of utilizing Power Automate behind it to call other data sources. Right now, the options of accelerating those data sources within the context of Power Copilot Studio are adding a website. You can add your internal SharePoint sites as well, that counts. Or you can start with files. If you have up to 100 files, if they're under a certain size, I think 3 megabytes, you can utilize those as the data source. So really still bringing Copilot the data and the context that you want it to use, and then the tool takes it from there, right? So let's see. All I've done is given it a website, by the way, and now I can say, hey there, what should I make for dinner tonight? And now I'm given back options where Copilot is also citing their sources, right, of like where each of these things are. So that's super cool that that only takes a minute, right? This is something that is great to add to any type of like external scenarios that you have, right? If you have a public facing website, a Pages instance perhaps, this would be a really easy win to add this to your website. It also could make sense if you have the Power Automate flows connecting and working in a help desk scenario, elevating what you could do before with chatbots, right? So it's a lot easier education or communication and so forth. So that's what's there. Where you can continue to elevate this too is you can create plugins to other data sources. Where I think we should consider the use case, right, of when we're starting to look at plugins and actions and so forth is with Microsoft 365 CoStudio. Okay, Microsoft's 365 Copilot is the addition of generative AI to every product that Microsoft offers in 365, right? So some examples of that are within Teams, within Word, within Outlook, PowerPoint, Excel. Copilot is going to follow you and have the context of everything that's in your Microsoft tenant. So you won't have to bring Copilot the context like we've had to in these other examples, right? In Edge, you have to bring Copilot the context of the page. In building your own Copilot, you have to provide those data sources. Copilot 365 is going to be really different for working within 365, your tenant, and Copilot having the context of your emails, what you're working on, all of your documents, right? So when customers start to think about like, I want to build a Copilot for my organization, I want to accelerate my employees' work, how do I do that best, right? We definitely are excited to invest and utilize Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is going to be a license that you purchase. So it's available only to enterprise customers right now, and that will come about. Then we have the question of, okay, I have given Copilot everything that's in my tenant, but what do I do about all of my business data that is not in my tenant, right? Because no organization has everything in their Microsoft tenant. So now you've seen all the different varieties of Copilot available. What I think is the place that is going to see a lot of action and we need to start thinking and planning for as more companies start to adopt Copilot is plugins. So this is a thing you'll see in Copilot Studio plugins, and it is going to be an element of Microsoft 365, the option for plugins. And what this is going to make available to us is all of that enterprise data that is outside of the 365 tenant, but has authentication pieces, right, that we need to access through APIs or a flow or connector of some sort. This is going to be the place for investment, right? So it's all well and good to utilize what's in SharePoint and external websites, but there are going to be a lot of opportunities, for example, sales needs, right? If you have your data in HubSpot, we need to enable our sellers to have access and make that data actionable within Copilot, or Copilot's not going to be as impactful, or we're not going to realize all of the value that Copilot can provide. So think about plugins, start talking about what data is going to be valuable within Copilot itself. Other things to consider as you get ready to move towards utilizing Copilot in your organization are Copilot Studio still sits within Power Platform environments, right? So this is just another reason why Power Platform governance is going to be super important. We want to make sure that we are protecting our enterprise data as well, right? And everything is wrapped up, and we're confident that as we empower folks to build their own co-pilots, that we have created an environment in there that we're confident is secure in our data. Another thing to consider here is there may be some plugins, right, that there's no API, it's not in 365, but it is your own data, right, in like on-prem SQL data sources, etc. What are we going to do with that? That could be a great opportunity to consider Fabric. So this is a whole nother video. Let us know what questions you have, and I'll leave you with this teaser. At the same time that Microsoft is rolling out the opportunity to have a generative AI capability within your tenant across all of the products, they're also creating Fabric, which can bring together all of your disparate data sources into one place, one source of truth within your 365 tenant as well. How much sense does that make, right? Generative AI is not going to be of value if the data is not there, if there's different sources saying different things, right? If people can't rely on the answers that Copilot is giving, then people aren't going to use it and we'll fall behind. So we need to think about, is all of our data ready? Check. Is our governance ready? Check. And now, do we have our connectors to our third-party systems ready? Check. And are our people ready to use it, right? Are we encouraging folks to start utilizing Edge? Are we encouraging folks to start brainstorming how we can utilize generative AI in our everyday to build adoption and start realizing results. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you want us to dive into anything further, and we'll talk to you next time.